The opinions expressed on the X and Y Show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y Show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y Show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y Show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. How you doing? This is Roosevelt, and I'm your host. This is the X and Y Show you're listening to. Today, I'm going to rap to you a little bit. It's one of my rapping sessions. Something that was kind of, I've touched on it before in an episode, but I just want to re-hit it again because of certain events that has happened recently. And I want to talk about mental health. Mental health. And what gave me the idea of this was the actress Regina King. Her son committed suicide. And I think he was 28 years old, young dude in his prime. And that freaked me out when I saw that because I had just saw her. I was watching CNN New Year's Eve celebration, and Anderson Cooper and I can't remember the other guy, but I can't remember his name. But anyway, they were interviewing Regina, and she was there with another young man and her son, and they all looked happy, and and then a couple of weeks later, like right after celebrating his birthday, he commits suicide. So, I just, that kind of hit me because I just seen him on TV smiling and having a good time. And then, you find out that he's committed suicide. And it's very serious. And I don't know Regina King. I never met her before, but, I just have human compassion. That could have easily been someone who I cared about. Could have been me, I've talked to you guys before in the past about my experiences with mental health. And I call it that because I know now that I was severely depressed. Because during the time that when I first came back from Alaska, I went back home to be closer to family after my father had passed. And that had something to do with it as well. Because I was going through a lot of things emotionally. I just lost my dad. Here I was back home. I was, trying to find work, and I could not find work. Here I was with 3 degrees at the time, and I couldn't get a job being a custodian. And that's a lot of the main reason why I hate Miami, because it's a fucked up city. But, I always hated that city growing up. But that just made it bigger, But I couldn't find a job, I couldn't find work. I couldn't support myself. And I had to move back home, and I thought it was going to be temporarily till I find something. I got 3 degrees. I got an accounting degree. I have an MBA and all this shit. And, I say, it's not going to take long to find a job. I know this is a fucked up city, but I'll find something. And I never did. It went a lot longer than I anticipated. A lot longer. And then, you find out things that you didn't know. You find out that you didn't have as many friends as you thought you had. You find out you didn't have as many people in your corner as you thought you had. So all of that shit was hitting me. My dad's death, couldn't find a job. No, not a high amount of friends, just a lot of motherfuckers you work with, or you grew up with, but they're not friends. So all this shit was hitting me. And, I got depressed. At the time I didn't know, but looking back, I was like, damn, I was fucked up. I really, being older now, being older and more mature, I would definitely have talked to someone. And I could have easily done that. I'm a veteran. I could have gone to the VA and talked to someone, that's one of the things they do. They specialize it, VA, they'll get you some mental help, so I could have talked to someone, but I just didn't, because I thought, I'm tough, I'll get through this, and, I did get through it, but that shit was hard. And, I was not thinking about committing suicide, I wasn't, but it was, I'll put it like this. That's the closest that I've come to doing it. I can't explain it. It's a feeling like you want to just say, fuck this shit. And you want to just give up, it's not, I just don't want to deal with this shit no more. This is bullshit. And, you just want to give up. And, I was severely depressed. I should have talked to someone. I should have been to therapy. But again, playing a tough role. And I thought that way, for, not long, maybe a day or so. I was really in deep depression, then I would come out of it a little bit. Thank God I had family and I wasn't truly struggling, like worrying about getting thrown out, stuff like that. But, it was some things going through my mind that was fucked up, and it was not normal. It was not me. And I think that's what a lot of times people who commit suicide, they go through things alone, or they feel like they're alone, even though they could be right next to their families. Your family, it could be in the next room, same house, or your kids in the same house, same room. You see them every day, but you still feel like you're alone and everybody's against you and you're against the world, and you're losing, and, I was, thank God I was able to come back. I didn't dwell on that type of thinking very long, but, and I was able to come out of it, and, eventually I got a job, and the rest is history. I'm okay now, that was years ago, but, it didn't take much to, it doesn't take much. Everyone has their own breaking levels. Some people it takes a lot. Some people it doesn't take much. Literally for me, I lost, everything but my vehicle. And the only reason why I didn't lose that because it was paid for. But I couldn't pay for shit. I couldn't support myself. I was like a baby, and that shit works on well, it did for me. Some people, it wouldn't affect in the way that it did me. Like I said, everyone have their different things that affects them differently. So for me, that was a low pinnacle of my life. Not being able to support myself, feeling like a failure, feeling like, a straight fuck up. And it wasn't going to get better. So that was a very low time in my life. But, like I said, I was able to come out of it. But I still should have gone to someone and talked to. I should have gotten counseling for that period of my life of being severely depressed. There's nothing ashamed. No one should be feel ashamed about being depressed. It's a human. It's a human. Feeling. It's a human thing. It's something that people go through sometimes, and more people have gone through that than you know. Some of you listen to me are depressed right now. And I think that the key is that you have to remember that you're not alone. Even if you don't have family, there is people that you can talk to. There's organizations that you can reach out to that you can get help and mental, to bring you back to mental stability and get you the help that you need, so you won't think about doing things that you normally wouldn't do. And, I don't know Regina King's son. I don't know what he was going through, but everybody say, how could he commit suicide? He was rich. His mom was one of the biggest actresses in America. He had everything that he could. Why would he commit suicide? And like I say, money don't mean shit when it comes to mental health. What you have, look at Robin Williams when he committed suicide. Robin Williams was very well off and he killed himself. So money don't mean anything, it's a feeling, when a person feels like they can't take it anymore and it's not going to get better and they just want out. So they start thinking of doing things that they normally wouldn't do. And, and I wonder, if someone would have gotten a hold of Robin Williams, or someone would have got a hold of Regina King's son, and, just brought them out of it just a little bit, would that have prevented what they did? So you never know when someone is going through something. When I was going through my depression, I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to see my friends. Well, motherfuckers I work with, or people that I grew up with. I didn't want to see nobody. My mom was like, "Don't you want to go out, and hang out?" I didn't want to see them motherfuckers. No. I stayed in the house. That augmented the depression, just staying in the house, feeling sorry for myself. It just got worse. And I look back and I'm looking back at that. I was really fucked up. And, so, it's, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want anyone to see me in that condition, so, that's another thing where you feel that loneliness. You feel alone and you feel like it's not going to get any better and you just want out. So, I just say, mental health is real and you never know what anyone is going through. When I seen that young man, on New Year's Eve, I never thought that he was going through what he was going through. He was obviously going through something very extreme, because a couple of weeks later, he takes his life. Just found out a week ago that Charlie Brown, the childhood actor, committed suicide. If those of you know, Charlie Brown is my favorite holiday cartoons. So that kind of resonated with me. I'm like, damn. So, mental health is real, folks. It's very real. So, I just want to say, if you're feeling depressed, I saw last week there was a fellow podcaster who was saying that he just want to, end it. He's just tired. He's just tired. And then, a lot of other podcasters was saying, hey, man, we got your back, and, we love you, and, just giving him encouragement. And I think, it brought him out of it because it showed him that he wasn't alone. Some of those people he never met in his life, but it's still from people taking the time out of their day just to say, hey, man, we love you. We care about you. And, we don't want you to do anything that's going to hurt yourself. You don't want you to leave this place. And, he said, I really appreciate it. It makes me feel so much better. You can feel it. The way he wrote his replies, that really helped. So, I just wanted to rap to you a little bit. I just wanted to tell you that mental health is for real. If you're feeling depressed, and if you're feeling like you're alone and you can't take it and you're tired, please talk to someone. If you can't talk to your family, like I couldn't talk to my family. I could have talked to my family, but they wouldn't have. At least I thought they wouldn't have understood what I was going through. They just, they didn't get it. To them, you got 3 degrees, you're gonna find work. Don't worry about it. And it wasn't that easy. I was pushing towards a year and couldn't find work. I mean, after a while, I was like, just let me push a broom, do something. And I couldn't do anything. So, I could have talked to family, but I don't think they would have understood. At least I thought that. So, but if you don't have anyone to talk to, you don't have family, talk to someone. Talk to a pastor, talk to a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a real best friend. Sometimes you just need someone to listen to. They don't have to have degrees and pedigrees and all this shit behind their name. Sometimes you need someone to just listen. So find someone to listen. So if you're feeling bad, don't think you're alone. Don't give up. Don't be tired by yourself. Talk to someone. Get better. Because it does get better. And I want to leave a number to the suicide hotline, the suicide prevention hotline, for you to call 1-800-273-TALK, 1-800-273-TALK, or you can text STRENGTH to 741-741. And, like I said, if you can't talk to family, you can't talk to, find someone you can talk to, your pastor, your rabbi, a real best friend, or a stranger, talk to someone, Anyway, I just wanted to rap to you a minute, just a little minute. Mental health is real. Don't take it light. If you're feeling depressed, get help. Because I love you. And I want you around listening to the XY show for a long time. All the way up until I go in the old folks' home. All right. That is it. So I would guess I will see you on the next episode. I want you always to remember that you cannot have love without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.